message out of the importance and the dangerous nature of this storm. But right now it's time for our citizens to be a part of the team and heed those warnings and evacuate if you're in one of those zones. Talk to your local state government. Make sure that you have a plan. Download the FEMA app. Go to ready.gov to make sure you're ready. The main thing on evacuations is life safety. That will be our priority, as our effort will be stabilization. But you need to evacuate if you're in one of the evacuation zones. I ask that you do that for your own safety and also for the safety of our first responders. We don't want to put additional risk on our first responders when this storm. We know it's coming. You hear NOAA, you hear the science, you know the dangers, and it's time to evacuate and be a part of the team. This time I want to turn it over to Mr. Charlie English with the American Red Cross.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate your and Administrator Long's inclusiveness as being part of the team along with the other private nonprofits and faith-based organizations. We'd like to encourage all residents to, number one, have a plan. Know what you're going to do ahead of time. Don't wander about aimlessly and take off somewhere and not knowing where you're going to go and where you're going to seek refuge. Number two, get a kit. Know what you're going to put in your kit. Shelters are a safe haven, but they're not a resort. So you're going to need your toothbrush. You're going to maybe need pillows and things of that nature to sustain you. Don't forget your medicines and don't forget to take care of your pets as you come. Number three, know how you're going to get warned. Know the apps you want to download, the news media apps that will warn you and keep you abreast of what's going on. Would also encourage you, like Administrator Baird just mentioned, to download the FEMA app. Red Cross also has an app. If you would download that, it will give you up-to-date information on where shelters.
Going to be there at 11:30. We'll be covering it here. On,
now, are there any questions you want me to ask?
I would say,
or the viewers.
Yeah, even the viewers. So you can text Steve those, and but I just want to know a little bit more about the contracting issues. You know, where they contracted these people out, but a lot of them maybe didn't show, or
that's what's in dispute.
Yeah. So
I'll ask about that. Can
yes.
you tell us about the legal battle?
Right. Because that seems interesting.
And maybe not having a contractor next time. If you can train your own people to turn on the Wi-Fi stuff and run the machines, why do you have to go to these outside companies?
There you go. Yeah. So
see. Thanks for that idea.
Yeah, no problem. So Steve will be there 11:30. We'll be having it right here on Fox 10 Extra. Thanks so much, Steve, for the preview of what's going on a little bit later today. More news now. Coming up next from North Carolina and South Carolina, Hurricane Florence watch. And welcome back here to News Now. Hurricane Florence coverage for you as the North Carolina, South Carolina region really getting ready for a potential huge Category 4 storm coming to shore there about Friday morning, late Thursday night. We are covering it for you right here on News Now. Hi, everyone. Mike Page here. Welcome back to News Now. It's going to be a busy couple of days right here on the News Now desk. It's going to be even busier for the people out there out on the East Coast there. So we will continue to follow that. Here is an update from Charleston, South Carolina officials there getting ready for Hurricane Florence.
And to be somewhere else. The governor issued the evacuation order the other day, and it's time for us to take heed, follow the evacuation order, and get on out of town. So with that said, I'm going to call on my fellow mayor, Will Haney, from Mount Pleasant, to also share this message. Mayor Haney.
Appreciate it. Hey, Will Haney, mayor of the town of Mount Pleasant. First thing I want to say is that this storm is 500 miles wide. It's a Category 4. It has winds like we have not seen since Hugo, Mayor. And as you noticed when you got up this morning, the one thing that you can count on is there's a lot of uncertainty about this storm. Our staff briefed me this morning and said the prediction this morning looks very different than it did for yesterday. So what I want to say to our citizens is that you have the power to introduce a degree of certainty to this situation, and that is by heeding the evacuation order. When you choose to leave and get out of its way, you have more control over your destiny than you do if you choose to stay here. And if you're worried about leaving your property behind, remember what our police chief said yesterday. If anyone wants to go through a neighborhood in Mount Pleasant looking for a house to rob, you will meet one of our police officers. We have more than doubled our patrols. Our police presence is very visible right now. So don't worry about your property. The other thing is you can replace your property. We cannot replace you, and we do not want to lose any of our citizens. The town is at operating condition 2 right now. We will go to operating condition 1, which is our highest level of operation, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We have gone to 24-hour shifts. I want to say that our preparation from the start has been for a worst case scenario, so this morning's new prediction did not change the level of preparation that we will do as a town. We are doing everything possible, but you as a citizen can only take care of yourself. So please secure your property, get your car filled up with gas, and get on the interstate and get out of this storm's way. We are operating out of our Emergency Operations Center, which was activated yesterday. We will be holding a press conference at 1 o'clock today in Mount Pleasant. I've invited other mayors and regional officials to join us there as well. And if you need shelter, you can get in a CARTA bus, and Mike Seekings will give more details about that. But in Mount Pleasant, if you need to use bus service to get to a shelter, go to a regular CARTA bus stop. And I want to reiterate again, please, please leave now. You can take control of your destiny by getting out of the way of this dangerous storm. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Haney. And I'll just reiterate that our public safety personnel, our essential personnel, City of Charleston, City of Mount Pleasant, all the partners regionally will be on guard. We're going to mind the store. So we're going to watch things. You don't have to worry about that while you get out of town. And so the safe thing to do is to follow the evacuation order. Now, just a couple of tidbits, if I may, of city business. Sandbags. There are 4 locations that we've been supplying. We have 3 loads of sand coming to each location today and some more bags. But when those supplies run out, we'll be shutting down those operations, and we suspect that will happen by the end of the day today. Just over the last 2 days, we've helped our citizens today. Just over the last 2 days, we've helped our citizens fill over 37,000 sandbags at those 4 locations. So people are protecting their property, and that's a great thing. Trash, garbage collection. Our city crews are out today picking up as many cans as they can. Unfortunately, our contractor that services the area outside of the Mark Clark, West Ashley, and on Johns Island, their personnel, they went ahead and shut down with the evacuation order yesterday. So we have not been able to cover the areas that they would normally cover. So this is what I would ask our citizens in the city of Charleston. At the end of the day, if you're still here and your can hadn't been picked up, please roll it back, and we'll be back to you on Monday. That's just where we are with that. So next we're going to talk about transportation and sheltering. Keith Benjamin, our Director of Transportation, is going to share some information about bus stops, and then Chairman of CARTA and our City Council member Mike Seekings will follow with more information. Keith?
Good morning, everybody. We have been in touch with our SCDOT counterparts and just want to make it clear that the lane reversal process is still very much in effect. There have been no changes to that process, so for those who are trying to move through those particular corridors, please be mindful of that as you get to and fro. Just a couple of things in terms of evacuations. As we said in our previous press conference, the blue evacuation signs are all up and available. If you need to be evacuated and you're in West Ashley or in one of the islands, please use the public information number for the county, 843-746-3900. I'm going to allow Councilmember Seekings to bring more detail about CARTA, but specifically to the evacuation shuttle that's available on the peninsula. I just want to go through the stops just so that people are well informed about them. Meeting in Mary Street, Meeting Street in Johnson, Fishburne and Rutledge, King and Mount Pleasant, Calhoun and Alexander, Bufane and Market, Bridgeview Village Apartments, Dasher Street, Rutledge and Gordon, Rutledge and Cannon, Rutledge and Bennett, Broad Street and Logan, East Bay and Hazel, Morrison and Romney. So those are particular pickup locations. It's a specific route that's on the hour that's picking up folk, and Councilmember Seekins will give more detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Keith. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Seekings, Charleston City Council, and Chairman of CARTA. First, I want to thank the mayors that are here, our chiefs that are here, and everybody else who's working in this building behind us. Getting prepared for an event like this takes an enormous amount of hard work from some seriously dedicated employees, and I will tell you, behind those doors are people working very hard to make sure that the citizens of this community are safe, and it's no different at CARTA. Our mission is to make sure that we can move people to safety, and as Mayor Haney said, the one equation that you can put into this to take the uncertainty out is move yourself, and we are here to help that. So here's where we are with CARTA. Today, CARTA is operating our schedule countywide until 9 o'clock. We are also running what we call our hurricane circulator buses, which are on the peninsula, which Mr. Benjamin just talked about with the 14 stops on the peninsula, also until 9 o'clock. Those are the blue signs that you see. My understanding is that the county is going to stop picking up at the blue signed evacuation spots at 6 o'clock. But if you live in an area where there is regular CARTA service and you need to be evacuated and you're not on the peninsula after 6 o'clock, get on a regularly scheduled CARTA bus and we will make sure you get to where you need to be and get staged to get to a shelter. So CARTA will be up and running until 9. If you get on after 6 and before 9, it is likely we will be directing people straight to the shelters and not via the county buildings. So after 9 o'clock, CARTA, like just about everything else around here, is going to cease operating. Our services will be suspended. We're going to see what happens going forward as to when we ramp back up again, particularly on the emergency routes. But the message is this. Right now, if you're riding a CARTA bus, do it to get to a place of safety, not to a place away from your home, away from where you're going. Use this resource to get away from the storm. There's going to be water at a minimum and probably a little bit more. So if you have any questions, go to ridecarta.com/Florence. Call the county hotline if you want to know where you are. We, officials of CARTA, will be riding the circulator buses today to help people move about. So any questions, go to ridecarta.com, get with the county. 9 o'clock is the cutoff, so please make preparations now if you're going to use our services to be on there well ahead of that. Thank you very much.
And then I just wanted to get a report for you from our public safety officials. We have with us today our Assistant Fire Chief Joey Roberts and Police Chief Luther Reynolds. Chief Roberts, would you like to give an update on our fire department efforts?
At this time, the Charleston Fire Department continues to prep for Hurricane Florence. At this time, we are in the process of requesting additional resources from the state of South Carolina to support us in this operation. We'll have additional personnel on staff tomorrow to support us with this operation. Our USAR teams are being fully activated starting tomorrow evening. So we are prepping and looking forward to hopefully a better outcome than what we saw this morning on the local weather channels. That's all we have for right now. Thank you.
Chief Reynolds.
We continue to work collaboratively with all of our partners in the Low Region. I've been on the phone this morning with Sheriff Cannon, with Chief Ritchie, with Chief Burgess, and with public safety. That includes fire rescue, police, emergency management. That includes federal, state, and local. The mayor has been in constant contact with the governor. We're going to continue to follow the governor's lead in terms of evacuation and the reversal of the interstate. We've been a big part of that. We actually have had a large number of officers assigned to that detail to work closely with the state. It's likely that we're going to get significant flooding and high winds, so it is extremely important. I'll just emphasize what's already been said, that we all help with evacuations. We have time now to do that. Everybody's got good information. Everyone in public safety will have a lot easier job if everybody evacuates now. Life safety.
All right, so that was the latest there from South Carolina officials there in Charleston getting ready for the huge storm that is about to come to their area. What we're going to do is take you to another live event that's happening right now. We're going to take you out to Dallas right now, where there is a news conference there regarding that situation that happened a week ago, where that Dallas police officer shot and killed a person inside the home. That Dallas officer saying that they thought it was their home when it really wasn't. And take a look at this news conference happening now. This group is demanding that there is a special investigation into this case.
Chief Hall say at Paul Quinn over the weekend that she is supportive of police oversight with subpoena power and investigative power. That's not me putting words in her mouth. I believe that the media have already quoted her on that. I want to go through a timeline of the Citizens Police Review Board. In 1980, the first CRB was created in response to a failed petition drive. In 1982, City Council created the Civilian Police Review Board that relied on police and DPD internal affairs investigation. 1988, the board, strengthened with limited powers, conducted an independent investigation and subpoena powers. DPA collected enough signatures to put the CPR on the ballot with the goal of abolishing this Civilian Review Board. DPA is the acronym of the Dallas Police Association. 2014, Dallas Community filed a formal complaint. Dallas Community Organizing for Change filed a complaint on DOJ. In 2016, Congressman Eddie Bernice Johnson convenes a task force to study reform of CPRB. 2017, the start of the partnership with Chief Renee Hall. 2018, we are here in the final stages to create the City of Dallas' first Office of Police Civilian Oversight. Core reform areas: structural independence, accountability, transparency, public outreach and engagement, procedural fairness, training and monitoring. Structural independence: refined subpoena power, investigative power, access to evidence and documentation. Accountability, policy oversight, strengthening power to impact policies and procedures, the ability to take disciplinary action regarding misconduct, In instance where there is no complaint filed, power to have input in internal police department disciplinary actions. Transparency, public reporting on quarterly, annually basis, expanding accountability to complaint process, improve and maintain website, facilitate communications with the public in high-profile misconduct cases, facilitate community partnerships for policy creation, procedural fairness, create process deadlines for internal affairs department investigations, mediation resources for low-level offenses, legal resources for citizens during the complaint process, legal counsel added to the advisory board,